The episode begins with Arthur talking about how some people become absolutely obsessed with certain things, such as when his sister played Hippo Hunt for 4 days straight. Meanwhile, I played some of my favorite games almost every day for a hell of a lot longer than that, so DW's just an amateur level gamer. This leads to Arthur explaining to us how Buster's now crazy for dinosaurs, and how he's especially excited for their field trip to Rainbow Rock State Park to look for fossils. On the day of the field trip, Buster's all decked out to be a paleontologist while forcing Arthur to lug all of his supplies, which we never see again, by the way, which leads me to believe that Arthur forgot to bring them back home. They start off with a presentation hosted by Ranger Ruth, who asks the kids if any of them can define what a fossil is. That's when Buster eagerly raises his hand and answers without missing a beat.
It's the calcified remains of ancient organisms. Minerals seep into their tissue and harden, preserving the forms of their bodies.
Count on me to pick the class genius.
It's funny, because Buster is usually a dumbass. Even Rapper can't believe what he just heard. The students are then shown a skit explaining the history and formations of fossils in further detail, featuring a dino costume that has certainly seen better days. Finally, the kids get to go fossil hunting, which they do by searching the stream. Hours pass, and Buster is so far empty-handed. He's so determined to find a fossil, though, that he skips out on a lunch break to continue his search. Not even soda can lure him away from his hunt. Arthur has just about had it, and, unbeknownst to him, picks up a fossil by pure chance. Buster is damn near entranced, and nearly breaks Arthur's skull when trying to retrieve it. Lo and behold, it's not as good as fossilization of a dinosaur's footprint. At the end of the trip, Ranger Ruth collects the fossils the kids have found. This pisses the hell out of Buster, and he decides to hide his finding inside of his hat. Finders keepers and all that. However, the guild has already begun to eat away at him, as he hallucinates Ranger Ruth morphing into a dinosaur right in front of him. As soon as he returns home, Buster hides a fossil within a box inside of his closet. At school, the guild continues to pile on to him, as Mr. Rapper explains just how rare dinosaur footprint fossils are. Eventually, the telltale fossil gets the better of Buster, who has a nightmare about a living, breathing dinosaur breaking out of his closet. That's why he decides to stop at Arthur's house in the middle of the night, in order to pass the bird off to him. We also get a good look at both Arthur's bunny slippers and Buster's aardvark slippers. Cute. To solve their dino dilemma, Arthur calls the state park services, which are somehow still open in the dead of night. They're able to return the footprint to the museum, and they even get their names put on display with their finding. It's a happy ending for everyone. And with all that said and done, Buster learned his lesson not to steal things, right? Well, that wasn't totally unlearned it for plot purposes. In this episode, the brain asks why Buster is all cooped up in his room on a beautiful Sunday afternoon. We then get a flashback of everyone and their pets going crazy for cyber toys, robots in the skies that are surely more than meets the eye. Unfortunately, both Arthur and Buster are set out of luck, as they're quite pricey. That's when Buster pulls the ultimate dick move. He steals the toy by putting it in Arthur's backpack when Arthur isn't looking. In other words, throwing Arthur right under the bus should he get caught. Again, dick fucking move. And as soon as he leaves the store, Buster worries not about Arthur potentially taking the fall, but he himself getting rightfully blamed for the crime. At least when Buster tried to hand off the fossil, he was being transparent about it. When Buster fesses up, Arthur is rightfully pissed at his friend for his scheme. Then, he explains that the right thing to do now is return to the store and apologize. Instead of going there directly to do that, though, they come up with a convoluted plan to sneak the toy out of Arthur's house and leave it at the store with an apology note before it opens. However, Buster can't even write a proper apology note without, once again, trying to shift the blame onto Arthur. Instead of saying fucking you're on your own, Arthur continues to help Buster try to return the toy without getting caught. Things go from bad to worse when the two see that the cyber toy display has now been picked clean. Instead of leaving the toy behind some random merchandise, Arthur leaves the damn thing out in the open with a note. It immediately waltzes its way over to the drugstore owner, who's not too happy about the discovery. Finally, Buster confesses to his crime, thinking that the security camera caught him. But while the camera is actually broken, the boy's parents are immediately called over. Arthur gets it chewing out, as if he hasn't been put through the ringer enough already. Meanwhile, Buster is grounded for a month, which is admittedly him getting his just desserts. Again, bad enough to steal a toy, but to try to pass a blade ball to your best friend not once, but twice makes you a massive prick. Back in the present, the Brave Pup solved the wound by bragging about getting a cyber toy for his birthday, while Buster laments how much time is left for his punishment. And since this was the B-side of the episode, we end up on a downright downer of a note. This is pretty much Buster's so funny I forgot to laugh moment. I don't expect any of the characters to be perfect, as even the nicest real-life kids have their asshole moments. But to have Buster attempt to frame Arthur for a crime twice is uncharacteristically assholish for him, I think. His first thought after stealing it isn't even him worried about Arthur getting in trouble for something he didn't do. It was Buster worried about getting caught and punished. Also, I know that they wanted to make sure they got their stealing is bad moral across, but strictly logically speaking, I think even an 8-year-old could have thought to shove the stolen toy behind some other merchandise, instead of leaving it out in the open. In fact, why did it even matter that the display was empty in the first place? It'd be one thing if they were trying to be discreet, but they were insistent on attaching the note. Even if the display was full, having that note would still make it pretty damn conspicuous. And again, it's especially frustrating when we already had an episode where Buster stole something just 4 seasons ago, which makes him look like an absolute idiot. I know that sometimes there will be repeating plot points in this show, but it probably would have been better if they at least had another character that was doing the stealing this time. Maybe they were worried that since Arthur and Buster were punished for their fossil crime, kids wouldn't take it as seriously. Instead, though, it's just plain irritating. I think just about every character in the show has had their most infamous moment in the series, and for Buster, I'd say this one is it for him. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to click like, and subscribe if you want to see more.